Right then, boys, Chelsea are back in the Champions League. It's been too long. We've had to play in the Conference League. We've had to have no Europe at all. But after a good few years now, we're back in Champions League. We've got the lights under the bridge. We've got them back. The 8 p.m. kickoffs. We've missed it. It's what we deserve. It's where Chelsea should be playing. And we've just got the draws all done now, so it won't be completely finalised right until Saturday. On Saturday, they said we'll know like the order, because right now it's just gone from pot 1, 2, 3, 4, so we don't know the actual order of when we're playing who. But we've got Barcelona at home, Bayern away, Benfica at home, Atalanta away, Ajax at home, Napoli away, Paphos at home, and then Karabag away. So I'm pretty happy with the draw, to be honest. Obviously, we've got a few tough games, but that's to be expected. It's the Champions League. And in my last video, I said, I want us to play some of the better teams. I don't want to just get an easy run to the knockouts. I want to play, the big boys. I want to see what we're made of. I think, on our day, we're good enough to beat anyone. We saw that against PSG in the Club World Cup final, right? I wasn't expecting us to win that game, and we dominated them. So, there's some breaking news, is there? I don't think so. I'm just trying to keep an eye out. Apparently, Ben Jacobs has just tweeted. But yeah, the draw's here. Barcelona at home for me. This is my favourite fixture. Definitely want to try and get to the bridge for this game. I think the atmosphere is going to be insane. And this is a fixture throughout history in the Champions League. It's always been drama, right? From Alonso's goal to Iniesta scoring. We've just had so many great battles, right? And Barcelona, one of the probably the best attacking team in the world right now. Lamine Yamal is going to be at the bridge, so it's going to be a spectacle. I'm super excited for this game. And to be honest, if you asked me what team do you want to play, probably want to play Barcelona, and I think I like it at home as well. At Stamford Bridge under the lights. It's just drama. We haven't played them for a while as well, right? And they've got a great team, so this is a fixture I'm super excited for. Bayern Munich away is going to be a tough game. I think in the midfield we can beat them, because I don't particularly rate Bayern's midfield, but their attack is something else, right? I mean, Musiala's out for the season, but Harry Kane's pretty much guaranteed a goal. Elise is going to be there or thereabouts. He's on fire at the moment, and obviously we almost got him at one point, right? And they're a team in form, so that's going to be a tough game, especially away from home. But if we get a draw, you can't complain with that. Benfica at home. Benfica do have a pretty good team, and they're looking quite good this season. But again, I think that's a team we should be. At home is a team we should be beating, to be honest. Atalanta away is going to be interesting, just because I don't quite know what Atalanta's going to look like, right? They lost their manager. He went to Roma, so they're going from quite like an attacking wing back kind of system to a bit more of a pragmatic system. So we'll have to see how Atalanta sort of start off their season, and a few weeks down the line we can kind of see whether that's going to be a tough game or not. Going away in Europe's always going to be tough, right? But if they're a bit out of form with their new manager, we can look to exploit that. But again, that's the sort of game I wouldn't be too upset if we went and got a draw. Ajax at home, don't really rate Ajax's team for the last couple of years, to be honest. So this is a game we should comfortably be winning, to be honest. I don't think they're that strong. Obviously, they've always got some good young players in the team, but it's not like the Ajax we saw 5-6 years ago, or certainly not like Ajax 20 years ago. So I don't think they got the strongest team. I don't particularly rate the crop of players they've got at the moment. So I think Ajax right now are particularly weak. I think there's better Dutch clubs at the moment. Now, Napoli away, that's a super interesting draw. Obviously, it's Conte. Conte's got links with Chelsea. Obviously, he won the league with us. And Lukaku's there. De Bruyne's there now. So, if Lukaku scores, you already know he's going to be celebrating on our heads. Napoli away is a tough place to go to. Their fans are crazy. The atmosphere is going to be electric. And Conte's always going to bring that fight, So Napoli away is going to be a tough game. I don't think it's unwinnable. Conte doesn't necessarily have the best transition over to Champions League. Right, he's always good in the league, always a threat in the league. But I just see, yeah, again, that's quite a hard game, but it'll be interesting. There's going to be drama. It's Conte, De Bruyne, Lukaku. So it's going to be drama no matter what. So I'm liking some of these fixtures. You can already see some storylines are developing. There's going to be some battles. There's going to be some good, matchups. Uh, Paphos at home. I think David Luiz plays for Paphos, so he'll be coming back to the bridge. That'll be nice. But these last two ones, Paphos and Karabag, they should be, we can quite heavily rotate and still win. So it'll be good to get some of the other players who aren't quite involved. They can get a full 90 and put in a good performance. So not the hardest draw in the world. Some teams we could have got Newcastle and stuff like that. So look, it wasn't the hardest draw. We've definitely got some very winnable games there. For me, the easiest ones are Ajax, Paphos, Karabag, and then Atalanta and Napoli away could be quite tough depending how informed we are and how informed they are. Benfica at home in theory should be winnable, but I think they've got quite a decent team. And Benfica always, they're a good club. We saw that in the Club World Cup. They gave us a game, right? So Benfica will be a tough game. It won't be an easy 3 points. And then, Barcelona and Bayern Munich, obviously the trickiest games, but I'm super excited to watch them. This is what the Champions League's about, right? And Lamine Yamal's going to be at Stamford Bridge. He's going to be up against Cucurella. We'll probably put two, men on Lamine. We're not going to let him just run at attack, which he very might well do. He, on his day, he's unstoppable. But it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, Cole Palmer and Esteval. Esteval versus Lamine Yamal is quite an interesting storyline if you want to go down that route. So look, some really good fixtures. And if you're just talking about how many points we might need to move on to the next stage, right? So there wasn't that many draws last season in the Champions League, right? So if you've been playing like Football Manager or something, you'd see a lot of the time, sometimes you can progress with a lot less points than this, depending, the teams at the bottom really underachieved here, like 0-0, 3, like, Leipzig shouldn't be getting 3 points from 8 games, that shouldn't be happening. But you'll need about 15, 16 points if you want to, go straight to the round of 16. But PSG came 15th and they went on to win the competition with 13 points. So we don't have to go out and beat every single team and look really really unbeatable in the group stages. We don't necessarily have to do that. Look, PSG lost 3 games. They still went on to win the Champions League. Okay, so look, as long as we can get 11 points, which we should be getting, right? If we can't get 11 points, we don't deserve to be in the Champions League. Then we should be progressing to the next stage. So we don't necessarily have to go straight to the round of 16. We don't have to do that, We can finish around here. It would be nice, so it's 2 less games we have to play. And look, you can see Villa got there and Lille. So some teams did overachieve and perform really well. But if we get, say, 14, 15, 16 points, we should be okay to go straight to the round of 16. And if you look here, say 3, 6, 9, say, maybe we get a win at Benfica, okay, and then we get a few draws, we can afford to maybe lose 1 or 2 games here, right? So, I think personally I'm quite happy with the draw. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. But, I like the matchups we've got going on. I'm just excited to see Chelsea back in the Champions League. It's been too long. We should be there every season. We shouldn't be playing in the Conference League or anything like that. Not even in the Europa League. We deserve to play here. We've won it twice. Really, it would be really nice to win it 3 times. To have a treble of Champions Leagues. That's something we want to be aiming for, especially with our young team. I'd like us to do a strong run into the Champions League. I don't think we're going to be consistent enough in the league to warrant, a title charge. But Chelsea in the Champions League, even when we've had weak teams, we've gone deep into the competition. I think we're there. It's not going to be easy coming to Stamford Bridge, especially if we're in form and away from home. We just need to be, defensively consistent. We don't quite have a leader at the back, which really helps in these away Champions League games. So, that could be a problem. Obviously, we'll need Reece James to be fit. wouldn't really want Gusto going away to like Bayern Munich. You know, I don't really see that. So apart from that, I'm really happy with the draw. Barcelona, I'm really excited to watch that game. I think that's just going to be, you know, box office, just 90 minutes of football, you know, but no, neither team are going to sit back and play boring. We're going to go at it. So that's probably going to be a high scoring game. Bayern Munich away is obviously going to be tough. And then I like the other fixtures, that they're definitely winnable. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who are you excited to see, or any matchups? Obviously, Lamine Yamal versus Cucurella, and Estevao versus Yamal, how you can play that. You know, the two 18-year-olds. For me, that's the standout. Harry Kane, it's going to be a problem, especially in his current form. Apart from that, you know, I'm quite confident we'll progress to the next stage. So do a video tomorrow, just breaking down, you know, the preview for our game on Saturday. Fulham, early kickoff as well. I'm quite confident for that game, but I'll let you boys know in more detail tomorrow on that video. So apart from that, peace.